Hi, guys.
Hi.
Sorry we've been aloof for a few days. Actually, a little longer than that. But in any case, here we are. We're going to try to catch up. I think when we last left off, we were
Daytona Beach.
in Daytona Beach. Yeah. So we left Daytona and came to St. Augustine. Lots of open area coming from Daytona to St. Augustine in the beginning part. And started into a little bit of winding, maneuvering back and forth. But really, really beautiful area.
Lots of brown water.
Yeah, lots of brown water.
That's where it started, I think.
Yeah. We say that only because obviously we're from South Florida down Fort Pierce, south, the Keys, lots of blue water, that kind of thing. Very marshy, very interesting land, a lot of nature, very, very cool. Just remarkably blue water. Brown water, excuse me. But anyway, lots of open area, lots of dolphin. The amount of dolphin that are up in the northern part of Florida are huge.
Very surprising, yeah.
Yeah. And they're actually all the way down through Fort Pierce. Surprisingly, when you get down to the Keys, there are huge pods of dolphin, but you don't see them as often as you do up here.
Sebastian, Fort Pierce too. That's huge.
Yep. So from Daytona Beach to St. Augustine, we stopped in Palm Coast. We took on fuel there in the Palm Coast Marina, and awesome marina, awesome staff, very easy to get in and out of. Take a westbound turn off of the ICW, straight in, a few hundred yards or a couple hundred yards, spin around, straight back out. Like I said, great staff.
Plenty of room. Yeah,
plenty of room to work with. In our size vessel, a 40-footer, obviously you could do fairly bigger than a 40-footer, but great place to be. So we pulled out of Palm Coast. Forgive me, I'm reading notes here. We anchored about 6:30. We made it about 6:30, just on the north side of the Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine. Good anchorage. I was a little apprehensive about the current that runs through there. It was a recommended anchorage on Navionics. Yep, in the waterway guide. It was just north of the Bridge of Lions and on the east side. I can't remember what the number is. I think it was 7, green 7. But between the bridge and green 7. And hey, we sat there for almost right out a week. Dropped the anchor, sat right there. Everything held solid. It was all good. All of these anchorages that we're talking about, everything was good, solid holding. So
it was like 8 feet there, right?
Yeah, 8 to 10 feet, something like that. Great holding. Never had a problem.
Some boat wakes, there's a no wake zone. Just, I think it's 500 feet from the bridge or 100 feet, whatever the distance is. And there's actually no wake buoys there. And we were anchored between the no wake buoy and the green number 7 marker. So it was right at the power up, power down zone. So we did get waked quite a bit there, like by the bigger boats. But
yeah, we did.
We did get used to it. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't a game changer, but it was noticeable that there were quite a few wakes there. On the other hand, on a daily basis, we got to see the pirate ships go out from St. Augustine. We got to see the sailing boats for the sunset cruises go out. The tiki bar boats, yeah. The head fishing boats.
Dolphin cruise boats.
Yeah, all of that.
That was cool.
Yeah, so it was cool.
And we were right across from the fort.
Yeah, I mean, we were right there at the fort.
Phew, that was awesome.
Every day you look up or every morning you wake up and you're right there by the fort, just across the channel and just north is the fort. When the cannons would go off, you'd be right there, front row. It was really, really cool. And on the south side of the Bridge of Lions was the St. Augustine Municipal Marina, and we would dinghy in daily to that. It's a $12 per day fee if you're honest and you go in and you check in at the office. But you get water, you get the showers, you get laundry facilities, you get the dockage,
Nicer restroom.
Yeah, you can dispose of used
Oh yeah.
motor oil. You can drop your trash. Most of that we didn't use because we're obviously fully equipped here on the trawler. But it's nice to know that you have all of those amenities. We did get rid of some used motor oil there, and the dockages are awesome there. They're very new, very neat and clean.
All floating docks.
Floating docks, yeah. All of this crew.
Because there's a 5-foot tide.
Yeah, there's a 5-foot tide. We are not used to this tidal changes. Down in the Keys, it's like 6 inches on the bay side. Fort Pierce, you probably get a couple of feet.
Tops.
Yeah, that's it. Here around St. Augustine, it's like a 5-foot change, and where we're at now, it's like an 8-foot change, which is completely crazy for us. But we read about it and we're experiencing it. It's pretty cool.
We have a story about that later, but
yeah,
I digress.
Yeah. So my parents showed up on Monday. It was raining a bit that day, so we didn't actually get to see them. But they showed up and they went to Anastasia State Park
In their motorhome.
in their motorhome. Yeah, they're sort of following us along, leapfrogging ahead of us, however you want to say it. But so they came to Anastasia State Park and they signed up for a week there. Nice park. Beautiful. Yeah, they had a great spot, and so we'd spend time in St. Augustine, and then time at their motorhome. We'd have some dinners there, things like that. Had a lot of fun. They're fun people. So yeah, we had a great time. Got on the trolley tour. We went through the trolley, spent a few hours on the trolley.
Your dad drank a lot of beer, and your mom ate a lot of ice cream.
That's right.
Oh, no, wait, I think I have that
Oh,
backwards.
it's the other way. Yeah, that's right. They're troopers. They're awesome. They're adventurers, just like we are at heart. So they're a lot of fun. So yeah, they spent a week there, and we bounced back and forth. We had some dinners out. We had some breakfasts out. We had some breakfasts at their place.
Dinners at their place.
Yeah, lots of fun.
They didn't make it to the boat that trip, so when we meet them next up here, we'll have them come out to the boat.
Yeah, they're leapfrogging up to Charleston, South Carolina. That's where we're going to meet them next. So they're running the motorhome. They're staying at Anastasia State Park for a couple more days, I guess, till
tomorrow,
through tomorrow, and then they're bailing. They're headed north. So we'll see them up there. But so yeah, that was our time in St. Augustine. St. Augustine's a great place, historic. You can read and walk to your blue in the face and still never cover everything.
One day we got over 12,000 steps, just to note.
We did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, oldest schoolhouse, oldest
city in the nation.
1565 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. The fort, everything that you could see, it's all there. It's an awesome place to go if you've never been there. It's a great place. So Friday morning we got our mess together, got all packaged up. We pulled anchor. We took on fuel and fresh water at St. Augustine Municipal Marina, and we headed north from there. So we went to...
Is your throat dry?
A little bit.
Sorry. Intermission. Okay.
Sisters Creek. We went to Sisters Creek. Where is Sisters Creek?
Amelia Island.
Amelia Island, yeah. So we cruised north from St. Augustine to Sisters Creek. That was our anchorage. We've been staying at anchor this whole time for the last, we explained that for the last year. So last night we anchored in Sisters Creek. Lots of winding back and forth, lots of nature, lots and lots of nature. It's like a whole world, a sea of grass on both sides of the intercoastal. Down south, particularly when you're south, Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach, it's condos and
the washing machine.
$1 million mansions and seawalls and a washing machine because the wakes never stop bouncing back and forth. Out here, it's just nature. A really cool thing.
And the irony is, the boaters are way more friendly up here. When there's enough room for all of the wakes to dissipate, they all slow down and they don't want to be rude and pass you fast. And down there in Fort Lauderdale, where all the seawalls are, they're They don't give a rat's you know what, and they fly right past you and just knock you around.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they wave. Hey!
So yeah, lots of long docks out to the channel. We went through areas where they had beautiful homes. They weren't mansions. Yeah, they were big homes, but there's a grouping of boathouses or docks that they're all covered. House, the roofs are the same as the house roofs, and they're elaborate boathouses. Living rooms there, outdoor kitchens, which makes perfect sense to me. Who wants to sit in the house all the time? I'd rather sit out on the water. But we passed a lot of that on the way. Yeah. So we did this Sisters Creek thing. We had a pasta dinner last night. It was great.
One other boat there that said it was a trawler that was, I think, unoccupied. But then this morning when we got up, there was a runabout boat, like some kind of center console that was hipped up next to it that you said maybe is the guy's dinghy or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so it wasn't crowded. I think we're doing it right though, because it's like August and we're going north.
Yeah.
So most people, if you're going to do the loop, which is the path that we're taking, we're not going to do the whole loop. But most people leave in April.
Right.
So they're in Michigan already. They're already doing the north summer thing.
Yep.
So we're just doing a little trip here. So we're going to go, we don't know how far, but we're kind of lonely, which is okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
We meet a few boaters. There's one coming by right now, which is surprising. We haven't seen one in an hour.
Yeah. But they all wave.
Yeah, but in any case, they're all very nice. So today we went to bed early last night, fairly early, not much earlier than normal. Yeah.
10:30.
Yeah, and got up this morning. We got underway pretty early this morning. When we left St. Augustine, we actually got underway about 11:30 in the morning.
We left the fuel dock at 11:30.
Yeah, because of getting up and checks and balances and fuel and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this morning we got up, we were underway. Actually, I think like 8:15 we pulled anchor and we were underway from Sisters Creek. And we wound up here at Buttermilk is where we're at now. But again, lots of twists and turns. We went through Jacksonville, right? Mayport, yeah, we went through that.
Ooh.
Monster ships coming through there, which is a little bit intimidating,
Cranes and marinas and all kinds of cool stuff.
Lots of big stuff, lots of current coming through there when you hit the inlet. Wasn't unmanageable at all. Oh, the one place.
Oh, the bridge.
Yeah, where was that at?
It was today for sure, but I don't remember the bridge. I can look it up. I don't remember.
Was it today?
It was definitely today, wasn't it?
Okay, I guess so. Yeah.
Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know.
There's a bridge, and we'll try to pinpoint it and point it out to you guys. But the land, you're going in this big wide open space in the intercoastal, and there's an island, a little small island there, and they have a big bridge that goes over the island. But they've choked the land. There's enough land to where it chokes down coming under the bridge. My point is there was so much current coming through this thing that if you didn't watch out, we were going to be in trouble.
And you thought the Bridge of Lions was bad, right? Because it crab walked you.
Yeah, when you come through the Bridge of Lions, when we came through there to our anchorage, the current was with us. So it was running fast enough to where you sort of crab walked coming underneath that thing. So that was a little bit, on edge. But this thing that we went through, I don't know, I noted it down somewhere and we'll point it out, but it was crazy. It was rolling 2 to 3 footers underneath this bridge. It was just a regular bridge, but there were 2 to 3 foot rollers because of the current. It was choked down, and I mean, we normally run 1,300 RPM, something like that. I had it powered up to 1,700, 1,800 RPMs, and on the transmissions and the throttles to pull through the fenders on this thing to keep the vessel straight. It was just crazy.
I had come down below to do whatever. I don't know what I was doing, but I came down here, and while I was down here, he was going through the bridge, and I was watching, and I could see the levers moving because we have a lower helm. So the levers were moving. I could tell he was like with the transmissions and the throttle, and then I heard the RPMs go up, and I was just watching the fenders, and everything was totally fine. But not being up there and talking to you at all, I was like, holy cow, it was scary.
Yeah, there was a lot of work going on to get through that 200 or 300 feet to get under that bridge. But anyway, it's what it is. I'm sure people experience that all the time. It was just the first time.
New to you.
Yeah, we were in coming through Palm Beach one time, and we brought the trawler in. My parents were with us. We brought the trawler in behind a little cruise ship that was going out of Peanut Island. I didn't think anything of it, and it wasn't like we were 50 feet behind them. We were several hundred feet behind this thing, but we pulled perpendicular to the path of this thing, and the thrust from the props on that thing shoved the trawler sideways, and it just makes you open your eyes. That's
you have no control of your vessel at the time, or you feel like you don't.
You feel like you don't.
You're just part of the prop wash.
Yep, that was it. So, so today we went through Mayport. We seen, and it's not in order, but we seen a submarine. Got to see a submarine.
We saw horses.
Horses on Cumberland Island, wild horses. Yeah, very
Several,
cool.
Probably 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. I think 6.
Yep. And then we went through and we seen the Navy ships and the submarine after that. And then, and again, I don't know if we're in order or not order, but I am going to mention this for anybody that watches it that's a cruiser. Jekyll Creek. Remember that name, Jekyll Creek. Jekyll Creek portrays its depth at mean low water at what?
8.
8 feet. Wendy does a lot of she does most all the navigation on Navionics.
I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, but it portrays something like, I was going to say 11.
Oh.
But it portrays something like that. Let me tell you what, don't buy it for a second. We seen, our last reading was 3.5 feet. 3.6, and it just went flashing from there. Looked up, you could feel the rudders sliding through the mud and in the churn from there. I watched the temperature. I was scanning forward on the Navionics to see when this was going to end. There were a couple of outboard boats passing us, coming the other direction, and I was hollering out to them, "Hey, does it get deeper? Where does it get deeper?" One guy, the first guy we passed, says it gets pretty shallow up there. And we couldn't tell the depth of what he was trying to say, maybe a couple of feet. And of course, as anybody knows, if it's a couple of feet, we're toast. We're drafting 3.5 feet. And a guy came, I don't know, 2 minutes behind him.
With a family, and they were ripping, and they slowed down because obviously they were approaching us, which they do up here. It's very cool.
And I hollered out to him, and he said, "You'll be fine. Just keep it in the middle. Keep plowing forward and keep it in the middle." And we did. And I don't know, probably it was 8-10 minutes later it took. We finally got out of there and seen, but absolutely
3.5 feet.
3.5 feet, no doubt. And when we went back and researched, if you looked on Navionics, there were comments of it, that they had dredged it in 2019, but there were people that said exactly what we seen. They said they seen 2.5, 3 feet under it. It could have been a problem right there. I had already resolved in my mind, okay, I was going to throttle it back, shut it down, sit right here, and wait for the tide to float the boat again, and we'll go again. But that's the spookiest it had ever been. For us. So anyway, that was Jekyll Creek
in Georgia. Outside of Jekyll Island, obviously.
Yeah. So today we crossed into Georgia. We had a little toast when we crossed into Georgia.
What?
I think so, did we?
I don't know. I'm not sure if that happened.
So Jekyll Creek, the submarine, the Navy ships crossed into Georgia. Lots of friendly boaters. We had a boater pass us, I don't know, maybe an hour or so before we got to the anchorage. And they wanted to chat on the radio. Where you guys been? We told them we came up from the Keys ultimately, and they were headed down to Key West. So lots of friendly banter. What else? We pulled into Buttermilk. This is Buttermilk 2 here. We did pass a couple of storms. We've been really, really lucky with the weather.
cool rain picture that you took today.
Yeah, we took some rain pictures of a burst of rainfall coming down. But we've been really, really lucky. We haven't been hammered by rain at all. And we pulled here at this anchorage about 5:45. So there's some kind of new anchoring laws in Georgia. We're not real on top of everything, but this is shown as an anchorage. Here supposedly you can't anchor within 1,000 feet of this, 300 feet of that, and this and that kind of thing. But typically it's structures, and we're out here in the middle of nowhere, so we should be good with everything.
I'm sure we're fine.
Yeah.
There's also a new sanitation device law in Georgia. We say it's new. I don't know how new, but it's new to us. We didn't know it was a thing. But like in the Keys, they call it a no discharge zone, an NDZ. And you cannot use our sanitation system that we have. What's it called?
Electroscan.
Electroscan. You can't use it down there, which is, we totally get it. You have to do your tank. So here in Georgia, the entire state, from what we understand, is that?
I guess so. That's what it sounds like. We haven't combed through it, and maybe we're wrong on it, but they say that you can't use an MSD, marine sanitation device, type 1, 2, or 3. And ours is a type 1. It's Coast Guard approved. It's a pretty elaborate system where you can discharge, but it's all treated, and I don't know, long drawn out story. But evidently now they voted it in 2019 or something like that.
So we're just tanking it because
So
we're only
just
here for 2
tanking it,
days,
yeah.
so we'll be fine. It's only 2 days, and then we'll be in South Carolina.
Yep.
So we're headed to Charleston. That's our next goal. I don't know if you mentioned that, but
Nope.
that's our next plan. We should be there on next Wednesday, I think.
Something like that.
What's today? Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We planned on 6 days travel to get there,
And we're 2 in.
roughly 50 miles a day, that kind of thing. We don't push it hard. But so we're 2 in, and so far we're right on schedule.
Everything's gone smooth as silk, except for that little Jekyll Creek thing. That was
Jekyll
crazy.
Creek, bad. No good.
That was really
Obviously,
scary,
we
actually.
were there at a low tide. We were there at low
we just
tide.
don't know. Now we know.
We never experienced that. But anyway, if you're going to go through there, make sure you're at a high tide or a rising tide, they say. And that makes total sense. If we would have had another foot,
We'd have been golden.
we would have felt, cautious, but okay.
The weirdest part for me was looking at the shore. Like, a lot of the way that we've been where these high tides are, there is a lot of oysters and silty, green, muddy shore before this river of grass.
Right.
So you can tell that the water is going to rise up. Like, a lot of water is coming. But what was weird there is, like, you were literally in a V. I don't know if there was maybe 10 feet of water on either side of the boat.
Yeah.
Like, horizontally.
Seemed like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was scary.
You were in a ditch. You looked in left and right, and you seen 100 feet of mud,
Birds on
and
shore.
100 feet of mud, and then this trickle of water down the center, and you're totally, we're back on. Wendy planned the route out, and it's been impeccable, perfect.
Oh.
But it's times like that when you look back, you go, well, maybe there's a wrong turn somewhere. Surely.
We were. Oh, and then there was a marker without the yellow triangle thing.
There
right?
was an addition marker. Yeah, I think it was like 241A
A or something.
something like that. But there was no intercoastal marker on it, the reflective. And then that's when I was like, I wonder if we've taken a wrong turn. But the very next marker had the intercoastal reflective tape on it. So we knew we were on the right path. And when you zoomed into it, it said recommended track. But it was very, very odd. You realize you're sitting in a canal. And you look back and it's just dark gray swirls behind the boat. And you're looking at your temperature gauge. And you're waiting to hit that rock at any moment. Thankfully, there wasn't the first bump of anything. We probably sanded some barnacles off the propellers.
Yeah, and the
and
rudders.
helped ourselves in the rudders. But you could feel the tension on the rudders. We didn't have to steer a lot. It was pretty much a straight shot.
You could feel it without. I know you had a hold of the wheel. You were piloting us through there, but I could feel it just
Yeah.
on the boat, not even through the wheel. So you must have felt it all that much more.
You did. You felt it in the steering. You felt it in the props. You could feel it in the keel sliding through this stuff. And it was. And I was watching the temperatures, and just hoping that we didn't suck up a bunch of mud.
Before I forget, I wanted to tell about Mayport and the red right return versus the intercoastal and how long that goes on.
That's right. That's another huge thing. You want to tell them about it?
No, you go.
Okay. You come to Mayport, Jacksonville there, and you're on the intercoastal, and then you enter the inlet. And a lot of times what you have to do is, so we're headed north, so you're going north on the intercoastal, and when you intersect the inlet, you have to go seaward. Not out to sea, but you have to go seaward for quite a distance to intersect with a particular buoy that splits north and south in the intercoastal. So at Jacksonville in particular, when you intersect, then the intercoastal markers change from red on landward side, like they're supposed to red right returning coming in the inlet.
For the ships.
Oh, well, fine. It's perfect. We expect that. No problem. So it's red right returning. You go out and you come back in, and then you turn back north on the intercoastal. Well, when you turn north, you expect it to swap. Not in Mayport, not in Jacksonville. Doesn't work that way. You go for several miles. I'm going to say that. Several miles. Felt like several miles. It was, for us, it was a long period of time. It was probably 45 minutes to an hour of the red markers still on the right-hand side, seaward side, not on land side like you would expect. It all made sense in the end because you get all the way down to this end where it gets ready to swap back over and the markers change back to the intercoastal markers. And right there at the end is where we've seen the submarine and the Navy ships and so forth. So they come in the inlet and they go north and they continue this red right return thing all the way up there. But it's very confusing just for a little bit of time. Yeah, that's it. It's they're well marked, but it's opposite. So there are times when you're cruising along there and you're thinking, and as a cruiser, you're watching a lot of systems all at the same time, and you glance up and you see a green marker, and for a split second you're like,
I gotta go left.
I'm on the wrong side. So you start to go, and then you realize no, it's backwards for a little longer.
We're still in the inlet.
We're still in the inlet. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, and you're not actually in the inlet. You're a mile or two up the intercoastal. But anyway, so good catch. Yeah, yeah.
Good story.
So that's really it. We're going to do dinner tonight. I think tonight is steak night. We got at the Anchorage at 5:45, so we weren't pushing our limits. Everything's good. Everything seems good.
7 o'clock now.
7
We're
o'clock.
golden. It's perfect. We have another hour before sunset.
Yep. Get up at a good time in the morning, hopefully around 8-ish, somewhere around there. Launch again and do another day.
Of Georgia.
Another day of Georgia. Yep. Yep. So we probably got one more night in Georgia, and then we'll be in South Carolina. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so 4 more nights, right, till we're at Charleston?
I think so. Yeah.
Lots of routes.
Lots of routes.
Winding.
Yeah, lots of brown water.
Lots of inlets, or even if they're not inlets, because a lot of them were not navigable, but they're at least reliefs where there's...
Right.
You can see the ocean. It's right there.
Right.
There are small boats that can go in and out, but anyway, lots of interesting channels and waterways.
Yeah, there's some kind of crazy thing going on at the last inlet that we passed. I don't even. It was on the north side of Cumberland Island, right, where the big structure machinery was.
You said it was a sunken ship or something.
Yeah, it looks to me like it was like a ferry, like a car ferry that had sunken, and this apparatus is in this relief or inlet. Huge thing. We've got pictures of it. But right before we got to that point, there were 2 massive barges, and inside those massive barges, hopper barges, there were crushed up containers, shipping containers, and cars. Why this is on the waterway, who knows? We came around the corner, and here's this big giant yellow structure with an entire ship, well, a section
Remnants.
of ship laying on its side underneath
Ribs.
this thing. And you can see all the decks in it. It was cut open, and it looks like they're salvaging this thing for steel and all the rim. So it looks like a wreck that they've salvaged, and yeah. So we'll figure out what that is.
Yeah, we'll Google.
I'm gonna Google that, but anyway, it's kind of
there's
cool.
Gold doubloons out there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
I think mostly a golden Volkswagen.
A golden Volkswagen, that's right. So that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow.
So today, by the way, is Saturday, August 21st, right? There you go.
Okay. Good point.
Oh, so we did a tour. If anybody saw the tour, our daughter Sam said it was painful to watch. So we're going to hang up on that one, and we're going to get a gimbal thing, she said. So we'll do a new one.
We'll do a new boat tour. There was lots of twisting and turning on the video.
We don't know.
We didn't really know what we were doing. So anyway, it'll make you seasick because we're sideways and then they're right up and whatever.
It looks good on
Anyway.
the camera, but the apparently YouTube thing doesn't switch.
Right. So thank you,
Old.
Sammy.
Old.
Yep.
All right. So guess what?
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.